You may have seen this viral video. We got Clown World on Twitter reposting the video of a young woman who is working out at a gym filming herself. And she says this is how not to approach girls at the gym. And she goes off saying this dude who was looking at her was a creepo. And I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about here. Everybody's giving their 2 cents on this clip. Basically, it's a woman working out at the gym. A guy glances over a couple times, doesn't really stare or anything like that. And then eventually walks over and asks her if she needs help, like re-racking the weights or something. And she goes off on him. So let me play this clip for you. Minute 47, so you can see for yourself. It's not the full video. The full video is, I guess, like 5 minutes. But I want to talk to you about this thing. And let me just start off on right off the bat by saying the craziest thing to me is that in our society, in our culture, women are shocked that men are attracted to them. I'm not saying that men should be creeps to women, but a dude looked at you. That's what guys do. And I don't understand. I don't understand this. Okay? Look, women should be able to wear whatever they want, but it's kind of like if you dress provocatively, people will look at you. Now, I understand this is why they have curves. They have like the lady gym, because women don't want to wear like a niqab when they go exercise. But the reality of the world is that when you're an attractive young woman, men are attracted to you. But the thing is, you've got these people who are influencers. They make their living off of the internet. And this is really what I want to get into. Because I agree, like, dudes shouldn't be creeps. But I see this stuff, and there's an interesting parallel between the social value of men and women and how they experience similar things in very different ways. And that is to say, society, and I'm not saying it's right, values women based on their appearance. And it values men based on their status. So if you are an attractive woman of no status, people will be coming up to you all the time. And if you are an unattractive man or otherwise of status, people will be coming up to you all the time. I just find it interesting. The people who come up to you all the time are attracted to you and essentially in society stating you have value. So there's a lot to break down on that, but let me play this video for you and then we'll talk about this chick.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
Stupid piece of shit. Hate this. I hate it. When there's weirdos, get me so uncomfortable. And then you see the guy who like looks over. Feral.
Like fucking feral.
Are you kidding me, dude? Feral, she says, everywhere. It's like you can easily catch people in the act. Oh, this is nothing. Because the guy like glances over. Stare counter 2. And she really does this. Now, I'll tell you what I think. I think this chick wants attention and she wants to find a reason to get attention. And there's this dude over here, he's working out and he glances over a couple times. First of all, if you're an attractive female and a guy glances over at you, bro, he's not saying anything to you. He's not bothering you. And you're not even looking the same direction. That's the crazy thing. But also consider this. Lady's filming herself in the gym doing hip thrusts. Now, somebody might just be like, I wonder what they're doing. They put the camera down, they're filming themselves. Like, what's this all about? And she goes on to assume that this guy is like, what's he creeping on her about? He walks over, grabs a wipe, hesitate. He asks her if she needs help or something. She says, that's not okay. What does she say? She's got some like red text pop up. You don't do that. That's not okay. You want to put it on. He was only working out behind me to go up to me because at a squat rack all the way in the corner of the gym to avoid weirdos like this, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I'm just going to tell you. People are allowed to walk up to you. And that's it. This is the craziest thing. You guys remember that 10 hours of walking through New York as a woman video that went viral? I'll tell you. If you're a woman and you're walking down the street, if you're a guy, I don't care who you are, and someone says something like, ooh, yeah, look at that big booty. Blah. Like, okay, that's creepo stuff, man. Like, we don't need none of that. The funniest thing is when I hear like women criticize dudes who catcall. Like a car pulls up and the guy's like, sup, girl, what up? You're looking good. And it's just like, does that work, dude? I mean, maybe it does for some of these guys. That's why they do it. That's the thing. People are like, either these guys are getting their moves off like a movie, or it actually works for them, I guess. I'm going to shout out King of the Hill. You guys ever watch King of the Hill? One of my favorite bits from the show King of the Hill is Hank asks Boomhauer to teach Bobby how to pitch woo. All right. If you don't know about King of the Hill, I don't know what to tell you. All right. So anyway, they go to a shoe store And then Boomhauer is like, I'm going to teach you, Bobby. He doesn't say it like that. He talks real fast. Like, I'm going to teach you, Bobby. I'm going to get a girl, I'm going to go on a date. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so he walks up to a woman and he's like, damn, girl, looking pretty good. Let me get that number. Go sometime. And then he says that like 10 times in a row. And then like women are slapping him. And then finally a woman hands him her number. And then Bobby's like, that's the secret. You just ask every woman. And then Boomhauer's like, shh, come on, man. It's a secret, It's a secret. It's not a secret, but it's funny. Look, you're a guy. This dude's working out in the gym. He sees an attractive girl he may be interested in. He in almost the least possible effort way ever, he tries to interact with her, and she loses her mind over it. I'm sorry, dude. Toxic femininity right here. So let me talk about societal value, right? Many of you may know that I run several YouTube channels. I have millions of subscribers. It's kind of crazy how that happened, to be honest. Like, I skating in Chicago, making videos, and then I think about it sometimes, like, over time, all of a sudden, I go from like 100K to like 1 million on 3 different channels and this big website, subscribers, a castle, employees. It's crazy how that happens. But because of that, a lot of people know who I am. Because of that, almost everywhere I go, people know who I am. Imagine what it would be like if, okay, I'll tell you this. I was at a casino. We were in like Harrisburg or something. And we went to the Hollywood Casino. I think it was Harrisburg. I can't remember. There's like 2 of them real close. And as we're walking in, it's like me, my brother, my girlfriend, and some other people. There's 2 people sitting, and then like they pull out a camera and take a picture. And then someone was like, hey, that guy took a picture of you. And I was like, yeah, it's probably a fan or someone who knows who I am. Like, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I understand that people know who I am. And then, but to like my friends, they were like, whoa, why did that happen? And I'm like, they saw somebody they knew. We played some games. We had a good time. As I'm walking out, they came by and they were like, we are huge fans. It was so cool to see you. And I was like, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know they snapped a photo. I don't care. That's great. I mean, like, you guys are paying the bills. It's crazy to me. I mean, look, I don't know what this chick does. I don't know what she does for a living. I'm not saying that, like this guy walking up there, he's not going to pay the bills. I guess technically, if you want to take out to dinner, you get a free meal. When someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, or I see someone staring or whatever, I'm like, I get it, man. This interest, this like people looking at me, knowing who I am. It's what literally makes the machine work. It is social value. I know a lot of people hate me. I know there's negative social value too, things like that. There are weirdo guys who hate attractive women because they're jealous or they feel rejected. But my point is this. There are women who are frumpy and ugly, and they wish guys were interested in them. All right? There are people who are poor and they wish they were rich and famous. And then there are celebrities who are absolute dicks to regular people. And I just never get that. You hear stories about like some celebrity and someone's like, hey man, my son and I are really big fans. Like, excuse me, I'm at a restaurant right now with my family. Can you not? I would never do that. I'm sitting down to eat and we're at, we're at another restaurant. And 2 people walk over as we're sitting down and they were like, we're really sorry to bother you. We're just really big fans. She's like, my brother, I want to get a picture. I want to show him he's a big fan. And I'm like, thank you so much. Dude, we are eating at this restaurant because you guys like the work we do enough to actually come over and say, what's up? I really appreciate that. I don't feel threatened. We went out and did the DC thing. No big deal. But I get it. Look, I'm not saying it's the same thing. Obviously, there's different. There's no like sexual connotation in someone saying they like my work. Right? For women, it's like you got to fear violence and stuff. But also, I got to fear political violence. I am not saying it's 1 for 1. I'm saying I find it interesting that there's a similarity. It's very different. I know. I'll throw it to the Young Turks. They'll probably clip this and then make some stupid response video. But because they always take things out of context. I'm just saying it's interesting that there's some similarities in that regard to how people come up to you. The only thing I'm trying to say is when I saw somebody take a picture of, or I didn't see it, but when someone took a picture of me, and it's happened a bunch. Or when someone recognizes me. I've mentioned this before. We don't know if it's because they want to kill me or because they like me. No idea. I hear that from women. It's like a guy's following you and you don't know if he's going to try and do something to you. And I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. Like I feel a similar thing. It's different. It's similar but different. I'm not saying it's the same level of egregious behavior. Like I wouldn't want creepos hitting on me and wanting to do weird sex stuff. You know what I mean? Like having someone say they like my YouTube videos is very, very different. My point is just this. This video, to put it simply, a homeboy didn't even do anything, man. Like, come on, save the anger for when like a bunch of jock bros come up and are not giving you space, are really saying inappropriate things to you. But if a guy politely says, "Can I give you a hand?" and you're like, "How dare you?" Like, come on, grow up. That's that 10 hours in New York thing. Because there's like a guy and he's like, "Hi." And then she's like, she doesn't actually do that, but that's like the gist of the video. One guy's on the phone and you hear him go, "Nice." And it's like, he's talking to somebody on the phone, dude. It's not about you. Now there's creepy stuff in that video where like a guy walks next to her for like 3 blocks. Totally agree. Creepy stuff. Don't do that. Like if I'm walking on the street and some guy started following me, I'd be like, "Get out of here, dude." I don't care for what reason. But there's some where it's like, "How do you do, ma'am?" And, "Morning." Are y'all seriously offended by that? That is toxic femininity right there. Toxic masculinity is like some jock bro going up to a woman as she's trying to exercise, being like, "So girl, you like the guns?" And then saying really inappropriate things to her. Regular masculinity is a guy who glances over a couple times, says, "You need any help with this? Have a good day," and then leaves. That's it. Toxic femininity is when a woman's walking in the street and a guy says, "Howdy, ma'am," and she goes, "How dare you?" Regular old femininity is like, "How do you do, sir?" That's it. Anyway, look, I don't know. Some people are saying like she's like an OnlyFans or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I'm not gonna dig into her life, but I do want to mention like the paradox of women making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. Not all of them, but some of them, and then having like women being offended that guys are like, "Hey," and like looking at you. It's like, dude, you're filming yourself for a reason. You're doing hip thrusts on camera from a low angle. Like someone's going to look at that and be like, "Yo, what is this?" Toxic femininity. Calm down. The world's not perfect. It's tough sometimes. I get it. And there are creepy guys out there. But this is just toxic femininity. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around and I will see you all shortly.